Okay, continuing on with translations. This time we're moving an entire triangle. So remember, get the length of the vector first. Copy that to all 3 points. There's point B, point E, and point N. And now we go from point to point. So beginning a vector to B, slide down to the end of the vector. I'll mark that immediately. I like to mark my points as soon as I find them. Helps me from getting things mixed up later on. Beginning a vector to E, slide down to the end of the vector. And lastly, we do N. Beginning a vector to point N, slide down to the end of the vector. And we just connect all those points. Remember, if you get then lines crossing, if your arcs are crossing, visualize where it should go. Okay, you want to be moving in the direction of the vector. Okay, next, reflecting over a line. So I'm going to start at one point. I'm definitely going to use multiple colors on the reflections. Let's see, I do an arc that goes through twice, and then from each endpoint, keep the measurement the same. With reflections, it's important that we keep that measurement the same. There's my first point. Okay, I'll do the next one in a different color. So from the green mark here, and the green mark there, that's my next point, and one more. There's my last point. Okay, so we're just connecting those points just like that. There we go. Perfect triangle. Reflected over the line. Okay, so number 15. 15 is actually telling us what to do. This is another way to create a circle center, okay? So the first one's to do a perpendicular bisector of the chord. So when I do that, that's pretty simple. Do my perpendicular bisector. Go to point D now. And that gives me that line. And I'm going to call this where it labels, I'm going to intersect, I'm going to call it point A and point M. And now I want to find the midpoint of AM. Find a midpoint by bisecting that. So I'll do another bisector. I'm going to change color so I can see it better. Feel free to use colors on the test tomorrow. I got no problem with that. And there's my center of a circle. Label it O. Simple as that. Okay. All right. Dilations. So I'm dilating O at a 4.5. So dilation, I like to draw my line going all the way out so I know where I'm dilating. Somewhere along that. You know what? Let's make that longer. 4 seems like a pretty big number, so I'm going to make that a pretty long line. And then I'm just going to take my measurement. So I'm taking this measurement here of O. And I'm going to do that 4.5 times. That's 1 from O, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to go a little bit more. I'm going to go a fifth. Now I know that's actually too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's too much. But I want to cut this last piece in half. And if I do that, that'll give me my 4.5. I do it this way because I can already tell that's going to be very, very small. So it's going to be hard to, whoop, that didn't work. It's going to be hard to actually get that half moved later on. So I'll do this bisector. So the point A prime is right there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Okay. Now the next one, another dilation. This time we're dilating by 3. So I'm going to move all these points a length of 3. Okay, so let's take this, stretch it out. I like doing each one separately, one at a time. So that's 1, 2, 3. There's 1 point. I'll call that B prime. Let's do D. 1, 2. Need to make that one longer. 3. Stretch that out a little more. There we go. There's D prime. And the last one is A. So from O to A, 1, 2, 3. There is A prime. Connect the dots. I think dilations are actually pretty easy, especially if they're whole number dilations. Those are really simple. Fractions can be a little tougher, but there we go. All right, next dilation is a negative, so I'm going to do that in a separate shot.